Oh.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the acupressure workshop for neck and back pain. My name is Julie Shillabeer and I am a registered acupuncturist in Vancouver, Canada, and I've been practicing for about 17 years. And I wanted to extend a warm welcome to my husband, Tim. This is his YouTube debut on my channel, so give it up for Tim, everyone.
Hey,
So for myself, I actually got into acupuncture after I had been in a severe car accident that left me with symptoms of whiplash and migraines. So today we're going to go through some of the points that I find are extremely helpful for myself and for my patients. And we're going to go through some of the acupressure techniques that you can use at home or at work. So in our bodies, we have what's called meridians. In Chinese medicine, we also have a neurological system, a digestive system, a respiratory system, but we have an added system, which we consider the energy highways of the body. And they run all over the body from the hands into the organs, up to the head, down to the feet. And within each of these energy highways, if you imagine little whirlpools, which are the acupuncture points. So if we have a river, which is, let's say, the bladder energy highway, along the bladder we have 67 whirlpools of energy. And as we go through our life, we can have energy stagnation that can lead to blood stagnation, which is pain. We can also have pain that leads to energy stagnation. So the idea, let's say that you do have neck pain up on the sides of the neck, we're going to learn some points that you can do on the hands as well as the feet. And in practice, I will do these maybe and not even work locally. We'll just needle those distal points. So there are so many of us that suffer from neck and back pain due to stress, how we sleep, how we work, and of course, accidents. Back pain is one of the most common symptoms that I see in practice.
Yeah. Globally, I think it's the most common.
Yes, and I would say that both of us throughout our lives at some point in time have experienced back pain or still do. Mm-hmm. So, looking at this from a facial acupuncture perspective, that when you do have neck and shoulder pain, this can actually lead to aging of the face because of the balance of the muscles. So in practice, one of my specialties is facial acupuncture, and constantly when we see lines here or here, it has to do with a tight neck and scalp. So it's important to always look at the system holistically and kind of, assess why one area might be affecting another within your system as you age. And for Tim, I would say that, looking at working on the computer, posture is a big factor as well.
Huge.
So, you might catch yourself throughout the day slouching over, and really just try and reset and check yourself. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is that I want you to be able to access acupressure points, not just when you're coming in for treatment, but every day. So with acupressure, this is an effective, safe, and free method to help reduce your pain. It is extremely easy to understand, and we're going to go through and highlight many of the points I use, and I'll also be putting on the top up here the acupressure points, so if you can't really see on Tim or myself, you'll be able to see from the point. So really with acupressure, think of it that it's activating the energy within the meridian to give a message to our body to let go of stress and let go of pain along that channel or in the body. There are many different ways you can use acupressure. So in clinic, what I will do sometimes to reinforce the treatment is use things like magnets, which I use non-plated as well as gold, depending on what we're trying to accomplish, as well as intradermal needles, which Tim has here. And I'll show you as we go through the first few points how to use those, and along with that, how you can potentially, instead of having that little needle in the sticker, you can use a little grain of rice with a Band-Aid sticking over it. And that's another free, really cheap way to access and stimulate an acupressure point. Other ways that we can use this is in French acupuncture, they use essential oils all the time. So if you have things like a little roller, you can massage that onto the point, and that as well would be considered acupressure because the energy of the essence from the flower or resin is going to absorb within that energy highway. Other ways that I like to do acupressure are with beautiful amethyst or different gems. You can see it kind of has a point on it, so you can really massage into the area easily. And then as well, we have little tools like this gua sha, and you can see it has a flatter head and then a pointier one. But you know what? If you have nothing but a pen lid around, you can also use that. So I recommend you get creative as long as you don't actually ink yourself with it. So at home, Tim and I have a plethora of local treatments for back pain. And we are going to go through all of those and how to use them at the end of the video because I want to get right into the specific acupressure points. There's also going to be chapters for this video so you can skip through. We're going to look at doing a little warm up and then start with neck pain, moving down to lower back pain closer to the end. Following that, we're going to do points that move energy stagnation. And these are great to do every single day, along with then the points that you find are going to be most beneficial for where your pain is. Okay, so I'd like to do a little bit of a warm up to really stimulate our energy, ground us into our bodies. And how we're going to do that is one of my favorite personal techniques of grounding our feet to the earth. So before we start with specific acupressure points, I want us to just tune into our bodies and check in and see how we're feeling and where we're feeling pain. So what we're going to do just to first center ourselves is we're going to imagine planting the bottom of our feet and connecting with the earth. So just like you would take your shoes off and stand on grass and how you feel connected to the earth, or walking on the sand and really connecting and tuning in with earth, you can actually access this same energy anywhere, whether you're in your apartment, at work, on a moving bus, or in a plane. So if you imagine, in Chinese meridian theory, we have the first point on the kidney energy channel. And this is just at the bottom of the foot. And what I always say to patients is if you imagine poles coming from the bottom of our feet and planting down to the earth and trying to imagine that connection. This is a very effective way of getting you out of your head if you're anxious, really looking at, throughout the day feeling overwhelmed. So I want us to just take a deep breath and on the exhale, imagine planting your feet into the ground. You can make your poles. I like to make mine silver, like a darker silver. Tim, what color do you want your poles to be?
Gray.
Gray. Okay, so we're both going into the neutral tones. So let's take a nice deep breath. And as we exhale, really imagining our poles going down and planting into the earth. And just trying to feel that connection to the earth. And now what I'd like for us to do, have you planted yourself? Can you feel the energy?
I feel like I'm planted.
Okay, wonderful.
And do you feel... are going through my heels and up my legs.
Good. And do you feel like you're a little bit more out of your head than you were a moment ago?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So it's that quick. And so now I want us to just rub our hands together and just really start feeling the chi, the heat between our hands. And in Qigong, I like to do this and then really, take our hands apart and see where we can stop feeling that heat. For me, it's about there right now. So that is still my energy connecting between here, even though you can't see it. Can you feel the heat there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So activating the energy in our hands is really going to help us move the chi through the body. And now checking in to see where we have pain today. Tim, how are you feeling?
Well, I was on the computer earlier on, so now I have pain in my neck. Arm out here with the mouse.
So on the right side?
And bad posture, yeah.
Yeah, so right about kind of the sides to the back of the neck.
Exactly.
Okay, and checking in with myself, I would say, yeah, maybe actually just on the left more into the trapezius muscle here. So it's always good to just kind of see where you're at with your pain. And now for the warm-up, what I want to do is start with the back of the neck points. So we're going to start with the... We'll definitely have to do outtakes.
I'll be right back.
So for the next 3 acupressure points, we're going to be clasping our hands behind our neck. And so, yeah, Tim's moving a little bit further behind me. So we'll be putting these points again up on the screen so you can see. So the first point we're going to be massaging is on the gallbladder channel, and it is just in the deepest depression when you tilt your head back between your spine and then your ear. So what we're going to be doing is with circular motions with our thumb, rubbing up and down with some firm pressure into this area. And you are welcome to tilt your head back a little bit. And so with this point, it is one of the most beneficial points for head pain. It's extremely beneficial for sinus concerns. And I love this point during my time of the month when I'm slightly angry, because it helps calm down anger. And Tim likes that as well.
I do.
So with this point, it's really beneficial for relieving pain everywhere in the body, but it's also a fantastic point to really help with any common colds, whether it be sore throat, cough, what have you. This point is one of my favorites. Okay, so now we're going to move closer to the spine along the bladder channel. So again, we're going to clasp our hands. And I will say actually that because of how the camera angle, I'm not going to do this for Tim, but this is a really wonderful point to have your partner or your friend do on yourself. So that your hands don't get tired, because if you are noticing as you're massaging gallbladder 20 that they're already a little sore, just take a break, plant your feet back down to the earth, and then you can start again. So for bladder 10, this point is between where we were just massaging and the spine, the base of the spine. So this point, we're going to again massage. Tim, if you can as well do the same. So this is where we were, right? Gallbladder 20. And then this is kind of like an inch, just over an inch from the midline, from the spine. So this point is really beneficial again for any head pain, but also when there's difficulty in actually turning the head. So if you really have a stiff spine, this is beneficial. And then pain anywhere along the back, this is one of your go-to points. And again, this point is really beneficial for sinuses, but also for eye health. So when you are at the computer all day, you might get computer ocular stress syndrome. I would massage this point during your breaks, every hour, taking a moment to massage, and this will really help benefit the eye health. So when it comes to the emotions and spirit energy of this point, it's along the bladder channel. So the bladder and the kidney are the water element in Chinese medical theory. And with the water element, this is all about, with water, it can withstand any temperature, it can mold and shape itself to steam, to ice, to liquid. So it really withstands time. And within the water element, it's all about will, having a strong will and trust for others, trust for the future, and emotions of fear. And instead, really allowing for gentleness throughout life so you can flow like water. So when it comes to someone who has a fear of the future, this is a really beneficial point to do, and I'm sure we all have that to a certain extent. And really looking at someone who's anxious from an overload of work, again, great to do while you're at work so this doesn't happen to you. So for the last point at the back of the head, we have Du 16, and Du means the governing vessel. This governs our brain, our spine, confidence, moving forward in the world, and this is the sea of marrow. So it is great for focus and concentration and really, warding off dementia and forgetfulness. Now, what we're going to do for this point, you can use your thumb, or I'm going to use my amethyst, and Tim is going to use the gua sha. And we're just going to go right into the center where the head meets the spine. And the first cervical vertebrae is the atlas. And looking at the atlas, Tim has an interesting Greek mythology story to share about why it got that name.
Well, we all know Atlas as the guy that holds up the earth. So he was a titan during the, it's very hard to say, Titanomachy. May have been butchering that. Basically, that's the battle between the titans and the gods.
Oh.
The gods win, and you guys may have seen the statue. I think there's one in New York in Rockefeller Center of the guy with the planet. You know, basically holding it up on his neck with his head bowed because of the weight. And that's Atlas, and that's why they call it that point.
So it's a pretty powerful point as well then. It's, well,
it would have to be if you're holding up the planet.
Exactly. So I think you can't really go wrong by massaging this point, and we'll all be smarter for it.
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels really good. So for the next point, it is as well on the gallbladder channel. So we had started the base of the occiput in between the ear and the midline, that's gallbladder 20. If we follow the channel down, we're actually going to come to gallbladder 21. So if you imagine the nipple line and you follow it all the way up to the top of the shoulder, that's that point.
Ooh,
and
that feels good.
It is tight on everyone. And, so looking at this point, first of all, I want to just say that if you are pregnant, you cannot do this point, but it is fantastic if you're wanting to induce labor or promote lactation. Now, in this area, we hold so much emotion.
Say that again. If you're pregnant, you cannot do this point?
Unless you're at the end of your 9 months and you want to induce labor. This is actually one of the points that we will needle.
Okay.
And if you have given birth and you aren't able to lactate, this helps promote lactation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, looking at this point emotionally, so many of us when we're stressed, we hold our shoulders up to our ear and we walk around like this, right? So there's a lot of emotional weight we hold here. So this is a really important point to massage, and we're going to go through some points distally to help move through that stagnation. So what we're going to do is, and I'll show you, is we're going to cup our right hand over our left shoulder and then come across. So we're just going to cup like this. You want to do, maybe 9 times, and make sure again that you're breathing through all of this. And I can feel just more circulation into the area where it was really tight. Good. All right, so for the next point, it's going to be back on the bladder channel, but down behind the knee. So the bladder channel, it's the great Taiyang channel, the longest energy highway of the body, with 67 points coming from the eye all the way down the back, out the 5th toe. So we're going to be accessing the command point for the entire back. Now, it's going to be difficult to show you, but you can see up here that bladder 40 is basically just in what we call the popliteal fossa, or the knee crease behind in the center. So you're going to want to massage, holding your knee and then massaging underneath in this area. What we're going to be doing, and what you can do if you're at your computer desk, is take some form of ball, a circular gem, and you can actually just place it right behind the knee and just kneel or move your foot back so your knee is more bent. So for us, let's just go in and massage behind the knee, just kind of knead the area. And this is going to be really beneficial for especially acute back pain. So you can see we're stimulating from the back of the head and then bringing all of that energy highway stagnation down and encouraging that movement down the channel, which is why I wanted to do this one next. So now we're going to switch to the other knee. This point is one of the main points I will use for eczema, acne. It's a point that clears heat from the skin. So things like shingles, it's one of the points that we use. And it's also really beneficial for, of course, any bladder issues as well. And I love to use it for common colds. So we've done the command point of the entire back. Now we're going to move on to the command point for the neck, which is actually on the lung channel. So along the lung channel, we have 11 points. The 7th point is right here. So the way to find it is you can intertwine your hands, and where your index finger lands, right here. Perfect. There's a little indent. So this is on the styloid process of the radial bone. And you can feel the little indent right here.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to massage with firm pressure in circular motions. Let's take a few deep breaths. Now, if you do have neck pain, you can massage this, let's say for 2 or 3 minutes, and then move on to the other side and massage in there as well. Now, this is a point that brings moisture to the skin, so anyone who's dehydrated, it's really beneficial for. Since it's on the lung channel, it is fantastic for common colds. It's really beneficial for asthma, any bronchitis issues. And I find overall what it does is it descends the lungs' energy. So even, sneezing like someone here does all the time, allergies, it's just such a fantastic point for that. It is amazing to help people who are having difficulty conceiving, since it is the opening to the conception vessel. And one of the other reasons I really use this point is, and how's it going down there with the massaging?
Not so great on this, because I didn't realize
you have your watch.
My watch is on.
So this is a really good point to really help release grief and sadness and weight on the chest as well. So when we look at the emotions and how it affects, some individuals, they have more of a downturn of the mouth, which kind of shows a little bit of sadness. This point really helps to upturn the mouth and helps to invoke joy and love. All right, so the next point we're going to do is on the small intestine channel called R.Ac, the back stream point. So this point is located just along the 5th finger below the finger joint. So if you kind of flex your hand, you're going to notice, making a fist, you're going to notice it right on the border between the thick and thin skin. And I'm actually going to use an intradermal needle for Tim, since this is one of the energy highways that is bothering him right here. So we're going to come in, put a little sticker, and again, you can use a little grain of rice, and then you can massage it. But this is a little baby needle that he can keep on for a couple of weeks even.
Yeah.
So really beneficial. And with the small intestine channel, if you imagine along the scapula, along the shoulders, all down here, kind of coming out the sides and then down the scapula, all of this area is the small intestine channel. So when we are at the computer and we kind of slouch our shoulders forward.
I do.
This point right in here is kind of where the small intestine channel holds a lot of chi. So when we can massage in there, it helps to push the shoulders back. But this point is one of my favorite distal points. And, with this point, it's fantastic for stiffness in the back of the neck, but really more upper back issues. Anyone who has a headache coming from the back of the neck up, this is a really beneficial point to do. But I would say, probably 80% of us, this is where the small intestine channel is where we hold so much of our tension, if not the bladder or gallbladder channels. So you can't go wrong by massaging in this area. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of essential oil on this one here. This is also really good to help gain clarity in difficult decision making. So coming across then from small intestine 3, same level, but between the 4th and 5th fingers, just below the knuckle joint, this is Sanjiao 3. So Sanjiao 3 is really beneficial for even more on the side of the neck, coming into this area, any pain there. So really looking at any headaches that stem from the side of the neck kind of coming up the side and temporal area, they're really beneficial for. And this point helps move energy stagnation. So any stress that we have, it's really beneficial for. So let's just massage in there, take a few deep breaths. One of the other reasons I use this point is for mood swings. So
why are you looking at me?
So for mood swings. So you might want to push really hard in there.
All right. Do I need one of these things on?
Well, you know what? I think, yeah, let's...
I'm going to overdo it.
Well, let's do a magnet. Let's do a magnet, but let's do it on the other side.
Okay. Now, is this side, if you put it on here, is it helping this side?
That's a good question. So there's different theories on this.
Because I don't have any pain on this side, so.
So some of the energy highways do actually cross. So let's just assess, where do you feel more pain massaging there locally or over here? Let's see what side's more tender. Because I think that's the easiest way to discern. There are lots of different theories of, one side for women, one side for men. How do you find the tenderness one to the other?
Well, this one I've been massaging for a while now, so it feels much better than...
On the left for me is really
guy.
tender.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's get this guy in here. Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful. So Sanjiao 3 is a fantastic point, really for any of the sides of the neck, hip area, down the IT, because it does share an energy highway with the gallbladder channel. So it really will help move the flow anywhere from the sides of the body. And then the next one is one of my go-to points. If someone comes into the office and is like, I have neck pain. Ow.
Yeah.
Ow, I can't move. I have neck pain and I can't move my neck.
You slept on it wrong.
I slept on it wrong, and then you try to move it. Ow! No, I can't do that.
Been there.
So I've been there too. So Lo Zhen Shui is the go-to point. And what I find is, I actually needle this point. So again, that same line, we have small intestine 3, Sanjiao 3. Now between the second and third fingers below the knuckle is Lo Zhen Shui. So I will actually needle the point and have the patient start to slowly and gently move the neck, and it will actually really loosen it up. So you can do that if you wake up in the morning and you can't move or turn your head. This point, massaging it, again, what side is tender, really focus on that side. You'll notice that there starts to be more mobility.
So it doesn't have to be the side where the pain is. It's really...
where it's more tender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
So massage this point. Again, very simple. It's good for a stiff neck, good for neck pain. So the next point is also amazing for a stiff neck or pain on the sides of the neck coming into the shoulders because it's on the gallbladder channel. So this point, you can see up here. Now, I'm not going to show specifically and locally on either of us where it is, but you can look at my Acupressure for Stress and PMS video over there, and you can actually see me slapping down the gallbladder channel and massaging into this point. So this point is really amazing for any stroke prevention, and it does help clear pain, again, anywhere from the sides of the neck, shoulders, hips down. But this point also is really beneficial for the brain and to help with dizziness. All right, so now I just want us to warm up the lower back a little bit as we go through more lower back points. So just like Tarzan does this on the chest, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna do the same thing on the lower back, the lumbar area, as well as the sacrum and into the hips. So we're just going to, this is a really good technique for moving the chi. So as well, any emotions that we're storing deep within us and pushing down, this helps to just move and lift up. So again, just taking a moment to plant our feet, get our poles going, taking some deep breaths. There we go. All right, I think we're good. You get the idea. So now we're going to come into Yao Tong Shui, which I love to say.
Okay.
Yao Tong Shui.
Go for it.
You say it.
Yao Tong Shui.
Yao Tong Shui. Okay, so this one, instead of Lo Gen Shui right here for the neck, we're going to, again, between the second and third fingers, go all the way down to the lower part of the metacarpal. So for Tim, yeah, we're going to come right exactly. So instead of here, between the second and third, you're in the fourth and fifth. So here.
Okay.
So you're going to come between the second and third, run it down to where the indent ends. There's a little depression there. And that is the first point. But Yao Tong Shui actually has two. So once we find that one and massage it, then we are going to come down, secondly, into this area. So it's kind of like snake eyes.
Okay.
So again, between the second and third fingers, massaging in there, and again, circular motions. So if you have a stiff lower back or you can't move your lower back, massage in here in the first point, and then start to slowly move back and forth and start opening up the lower back. Alternatively, you can have someone take your hand and massage both points together while you move. So you can see here how I'm massaging and Tim's starting to move. Is it tender in there?
It is.
Yeah. So it does help when you have a lot of pain, severe acute pain, if you call on someone else to massage these points for you. But if it's just, moderate pain, then I would say to do that, or for prevention as well.
Yeah, and you're getting in there pretty...
I'm getting in there firmly, right? Yeah. So on the pressure scale, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say my pressure is?
Like a 7 or 8.
7 or 8, exactly. So you don't want to be too gentle because you really want to activate and move the chi through the energy highways. So for the next 2 points, they're actually both at the ankle. So bladder 60, this point is the yuan source point of the channel. So we went from bladder 10 at the back of the neck. We've gone to bladder 40 already behind the knee crease. In the knee crease. Now moving out the ankle. So between the ankle and the Achilles tendon, on that line is bladder 60. So this point is fantastic for chronic back pain. So whereas the one behind the knee is best for acute, something that's just happened, or within the 3 months, I would say, this point down here is fantastic to help draw the stagnation further out the channel. But because this is the yuan source point, it is also fantastic for any physical bladder issues. And again, really beneficial for fear. Then moving into the inner side, so the same point but medially, so on the inner ankle area between the ankle and the Achilles tendon is kidney 3. Now, as men age, sometimes you'll see them and they'll be bent over walking. Right? So this is because of a kidney energy deficiency, very chronic. We say a Jing deficiency, so their essence is very diminished. Males, as their yang depletes, any impotence issues, sexual issues, this is a really beneficial point to use. But in general, it is one of the best healthy aging points to do. So anything with aging, such as poor memory, any cognitive deficiencies, what can you think of as someone ages, what they decline in?
Mental acuity for sure. Mobility.
Yes.
General joint pain, things
Absolutely.
like that.
So it's one of the best arthritic points. So anything with aging, this is one of the best preventative points. And with these 2 points, bladder 60 and kidney 3, I want you to just massage them together. And so you're going to really just cross your knee over the other knee and just massage from the Achilles with your thumb and index finger. You can't really see what I'm doing here, but you can understand that you're just going from the inner and outer ankle tip, moving them along closer to the Achilles tendon, and you're just going to massage them together. And actually, my kidney 3 is very tight today. Right. So sometimes for women, as we get closer to perimenopause, menopause, night sweats, again, bladder issues, this is a really beneficial point to do. So I must be getting up there. I'm a little tender into this area, but it could also just be, a tight calf muscle, or even knees. A lot of times the weakness in the knees can be a factor. So both of these points, more bladder 60 and kidney 3, more for chronic back pain issues, but it's great within the cycle of moving energy and stagnation through the channels as we're doing in this workshop. You really want to hit these 2 points too, just to further clear through the stagnation. Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the workshop, when we have pain, we generally have energy stagnation as well. So when there's local pain, we consider this blood stagnation. Where there's blood stagnation, there's chi stagnation. The energy isn't moving through the channels correctly. Another reason why we do get this on a daily basis is stress. So most people now know, which I love that most people now know, large intestine 4. So again, between the index finger and the thumb, basically, if we squeeze them together, you can see the highest peak.
Yeah.
This area, so it's a little bit closer to the index finger than the thumb. But you can massage in there wherever is the most tender. And this point is the command point for the head. So we learnt lung 7 command point for the neck. This one is really beneficial for jaw pain and tension. Think about how we have headaches and forehead tension. This is a really good point for that. But please note, if you're pregnant, this is another one you do want to avoid. So everyone else, get in there and dig and use firm pressure and massage every day. This point you can't go wrong with. It helps to open up the sinuses. It's great for any heat conditions, any skin conditions like acne, rosacea. I love using it if I have a sore throat. It's wonderful for. This just helps promote circulation of the entire body.
Okay.
Now, the last thing is, because this point, it's large intestine 4. So what other things is it going to be beneficial for?
I don't know.
Large intestine issues, maybe?
Yeah.
So the name says it. So constipation, diarrhea, bloating, any of those things, it's going to be really beneficial for. So it doesn't promote bowel movement. It helps regulate the digestive system and the intestines. So you don't have to worry if you're massaging this on a trip to Mexico when you're hungover that something else is going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. And so you can also just kind of knock each area. You can do different techniques.
Can you use the gua sha?
You can use the gua. Yeah. So you can, again, come in and massage.
It might be like less exhausting.
I would use the pointier one to really get in there.
Yeah, because that's easier to do than.
Yeah.
You get tired out doing this.
Absolutely. So you can buy these guys anywhere, but again, be creative. You can find something at home.
A spoon.
A spoon is great. Yeah. Better than a knife.
A ball, maybe?
You don't want that stimulation. A small ball. I like to use more gems. Smooth gems, I find, really work into these areas. And then we're going to pair this point with liver 3. So in Chinese medicine, liver energy stagnation, has to do with the flow of the energy on the liver meridian not moving throughout the body, but also symptoms of irritability, frustration, anger. Anyone who, you notice they really tense in this area. Right?
I got one.
You've got one. You've got one line there. Almost 2 now, so it's loosening up. But, some people, when they go to sleep, I actually will massage in here as I'm going to sleep just to help try and relax myself from the stress of the day. I don't realize I'm doing it, but I'll catch myself massaging in there. So this point is a really good relaxation point. But with the corrugator muscle, it holds irritability, frustration, and anger. So I love doing that alongside liver 3. So again, I don't want either of us to show our feet because we'll save you from that. But you can see with liver 3, it is just like large intestine 4 between the big toe and the second toe.
Yeah, I think mine is a lot of it comes from just squinting.
And squinting, yeah. Yeah. But when you are really frustrated, I find I'll start to get more of a headache and want to smooth this area out. But if I wanted to just work distally, I would go into our chi stagnation point on the large intestine channel and the liver. So together, these points are known as the 4 gates, and they move the flow of energy through the entire body. So they're a great combo. We call them rock star points.
Okay.
Or famous points. So you can do this on almost everyone and see an improvement in some way in their system.
And therefore you become a rock star.
Therefore you become a rock star. So those are rock star points.
Okay.
We like them. So for the last point that we're going to do today, it is the command point for tendons. So any tendinitis issues, itis, any inflammation, it is an amazing point for. And it is surprisingly on the gallbladder channel again. So we've learned gallbladder 39 for sides of the neck, stiff neck pain. This one
and
really...
You're being sarcastic when you say surprisingly.
I am.
Yeah. Facetious.
Yeah, facetiously, yes. It is, again, on one of...
inflammation.
Gallbladder, yeah. And it actually will really benefit your physical gallbladder as well. But this being the command point for tendons, it is good for any soft tissue injury. So any muscular issue, any tendinitis issue, this point you can't go wrong with. And so you can either, cup just beside the knee, just the lateral, the outside of the knee, down from that. But this point, I will generally just, as I'm sitting, if I'm at my desk, I'll put my thumbs on the top of my knee and then my middle fingers down the sides and massage just below the protuberance of the fibula there. So this point, again, really beneficial to do to help with stress and loosen up the flow of chi along the muscles and tendons and ligaments. So other reasons we use this point is, of course, with the gallbladder, we have a lot of digestive concerns. So nausea, indigestion, gallstones, jaundice, any cramps in the body, PMS. This is a fantastic point to do daily or multiple times during the day if you're suffering from PMS. But then, since I mentioned the gallbladder channel, really looks at the sides of the body pain. Think about sciatica. So when we have sciatica, there's a point along the side of hip area, buttocks area that I will needle quite deeply. The other point along the gallbladder channel that I do is gallbladder 34. So even just this point alone will really help loosen up the sciatic and really help open the meridian flow throughout the hips. So we have come to the end of our routine for acupressure for neck and back pain. And to finish the session, even if you just do half of it or a quarter, I like to finish the session by really, again, taking a deep breath in, planting our feet down to the earth with our poles. And then we are going to rub our hands together, bring that heat and chi back into the hands, and we're going to wash the face 3 times gently. So washing, 2, deep breath, and then we're going to cup over our eyes, nice deep breath. We're going to cup over our ears. And then we're going to rub our hands together again and wash the face. And here we go.
So good. I love these things.
So the tuning forks that we're using are the Earth's vibration, and then I've chosen the earthquake vibration because if you imagine the vibration of an earthquake, what does it do? It shifts and disrupts and moves. So this is hopefully just helping the energy and invoking what we're trying to do in the workshop is releasing pain. All right, well, I would love to thank Tim for joining us on this video.
You're very welcome.
And we are now at the fun part of going through local treatment that I use, that Tim uses, and you should use as well. Now, there are some very free or cost-effective methods. But I would say that these are methods that I encourage patients to use when they're not coming in for acupuncture. I still truly believe that it is important to have that reinforcement of proper treatment and then look at home care to help move you forward faster to pain relief. So they are adjunct therapies. And something that I have used for 20 plus years of my life every night is my acupressure mat.
Amazing.
So now I've stolen Tim's because I wore my out that I had, I think, for 18 years.
Yeah.
So I will lay in bed with, of course, you can have a pillowcase, but generally just with nothing on, and allowing all of these rubber pokies to move the circulation along the bladder channel, gallbladder channel, small intestine channel. And Tim loves it now. He's a believer. Whenever he has pain, he'll get on this after work.
And it works.
And it makes such a difference.
That's
so
great.
I'll link all of these tools down below.
Yep.
This one, it lasts a lifetime unless you dye your hair and then it gets all red and doesn't look good. So that is one of my tips. The next one is silicone cups. So in practice, I use glass cups. They are fire cups, but at home, you can use these cups here and you can see that you just squeeze it and it will stay on the body. So for instance, if I have shoulder pain, I'm going to come into gallbladder 21 and my clothes are in the way. And you can see that it's stuck on there. So I can work.
And I have pain right here.
And you want to make sure that for the neck itself, you don't want the larger cup, so use the smaller one. There you go. Let's use the smaller one.
Yeah.
There, and it just stays on. So these guys are great for pain anywhere. Ow. Don't pull your hair out. And again, very, very cost effective. They're like $10 each. Next, we are going to talk about a TENS unit. So in treatment, I will use a similar thing that physios use with wires electrically. And they have little, instead of these pads, they have little prongs that connect to the needles. But the pads you can put on your body and then use the TENS unit. So these are great for traveling when you can't access proper treatment. I like to take this traveling with me, and you can then just look at different modes to help different areas of the body. I also like to do this on the face for jaw tension. So this is something that is a little bit more pricey, but under $100. So I think it's actually under 60.
Yeah.
So then coming into other methods, what else do we have there? We have
A piece of wood.
a piece of wood. So this is fantastic for working along, the sides here. You can have someone massage. I like to use this guy down the sides of the leg, the gallbladder channel, to roll up and down. And then this is also great to help with the circulation at the bottom of the feet for plantar fasciitis concerns and overall circulation, because we know the foot is a microsystem of the entire body as well.
Yeah, I use this with my feet every day.
Then we have a lacrosse ball. So a lacrosse ball is a firm ball that I love to use this. Let's say I have a long drive and my back gets a little sore. I'll actually, while I'm driving, put this in the area that's tender, and it helps to get the pressure in there. Or when you're flying, you can put this even below into your hamstring, lower back. And so we have two. So what I would do is use a wall, and then I would start at the top of the back, and slowly, as you're leaning against the wall, you would move the ball down and massage into the areas. You don't need a really hard pressure. You just want to keep your core strong so you're not tilted in a weird way. But these guys are fantastic, and again, under $10. Then we have our trusty spoon. So scraping method is a method in Chinese medicine to help lift the stagnation up through the skin. So you can simply take the spoon, and you can use oil. You don't have to, but you can scrape basically.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? Down.
Yeah.
So you want to go from the head out, down the back, down out the hands. And you'll notice it get red, and it will help to lift the stagnation, but move the circulation. Then we have gua shas. So we, of course, know the jade gua shas. These ones are great because you can put them in the freezer and really kind of come into the gallbladder 20 area and massage down, right, all the way down.
And you can put the jade ones in the freezer too.
You can do the jade ones in the freezer as well, but these are really good just overall to move the stagnation out the gallbladder bladder channel.
It's lovely.
So I love these ones. They're great for for a hot day. One of the acupressure techniques that I use in clinic, which you won't have access to, but is the tuning fork. So this is another method if you are afraid of needles, where you can come into those points with tuning forks, and it really moves the stagnation and inflammation out.
So you can feel the vibration.
You can feel the vibration. And then lastly, I think our last one is the red light mask.
Yeah.
So red light therapy is one of the ways that is proven to boost collagen. So I love doing it on my face. And basically what happens is within every cell of our body, we have mitochondria, and those are the powerhouses of the cell. And so red light therapy helps to renew the cell, rebuild the cell. So we have healthy mitochondria, and it helps move out inflammation. So when I use my red light, I'll also come in and do it on the back, all the way down. It's wonderful as well during your period for abdominal cramps. So anywhere that you have pain, I like to use the red light. And I find with these guys, you want to have a red light that also has infrared in it, and at a specific rate so that you can optimize it. But you only need 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I use it on my hands for eczema from work. So it helps with that as well. Yeah,
so another fairly cost-effective thing that actually works. It's great for travel again. And I believe that is, we have one more. So the last one I want to show you is accessing Chinese herbology. So when we have pain, we can do acupuncture, we can do Tui Na, which is Chinese massage, we can do cupping. There's so many methods, but this one basically is a little roll. It's called Jia Jia Zhentong Gao, and I think it's under $20 or so, and it has a big roll with plaster. So this is herbal plaster, herbs that help move blood stagnation.
And what is the smell? White flower?
No, so it does have different herbs. They're all Chinese names, so it's hard to understand. But anywhere that you have pain, you can just cut a little bit.
You can put we're
gonna peel this off, and this can last 8 hours. You just have to be careful if you have skin allergies. So you would want to do a little test patch on your body. But basically, once it heats up, it sticks, and it takes pain away like that.
It's good stuff.
So that's all of our tips for local treatment. Please let us know what you use in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. And thanks again to Tim. You got a kiss. Mwah.
Huzzah!
Bye.